OpenAI trained their models, their latest 5.6 model, on Codex. And Codex takes advantage of all of OpenAI's platform features. One of the platform features they offer is a server-side compaction. You can literally just take the compacted version and try and run it out and see if it gets to the same verifiable rewards. If it doesn't, then you have like something to reinforce. So when they did this benchmark, when they released GPT 5.6 Soul, it was a little bit of a bummer because they didn't do a whole lot better on the ARC AGI 3 results. Like if you looked at the official harness results, it was like they did do better. It got better with more thinking. And this is, I think, better than it was previously. I think previously we were at like 6 or 7%, something like that. So this was an improvement, but it felt like a bit there was so much of a leap in the model, and when you're using it through Codex, you feel so much like there's so much more power than there was in 5.5 that this didn't seem to really match our experience. There were two things. First of all, it did not include the reasoning traces in the next messages, and also it didn't use the compaction situation. It didn't use the compaction endpoint. It helps if it can see that thinking in the next message that it sends. And then once you hit that limit and it compacts, if you use the compaction endpoint and do and use the real compaction stuff and then continue from there, the compaction now has like a good compressed summary of the reasoning versus imagine just like discarding this old reasoning stuff and this old user prompt and just leaving like the latest end messages. That's clearly going to be a lot worse. And so that's basically it. They found that when they plugged it into a harness that looked more like what they train on, they get a massively improved score. That's a 38.3% score. When Opus came out, things started to seem a little fishy because it's like, okay, when you're using these two models, Opus 5 doesn't feel that much stronger than GPT 5.6 Soul. And it could be just that they weren't training to this particular use case, or like GPT 5.6 Soul is different in certain ways. So maybe it doesn't have as much reasoning. But you look at the heights that it was able to achieve here, 38.3, that's doing even better than Claude Opus. We're talking about like it's up here now, and that's 5.6 Soul. So it just shows, and by the way, the Anthropic harness seems like it was prompted in the exact same way as this was. So this is fair, and that's why this hasn't been updated, because every single model does not get to customize their harness. They all have to be put in the standard harness and put through the standard way. I think it would be interesting to have a version of this where like Claude is given Claude Code and GPT is given Codex. I think it would be a lot tighter and a lot higher of a graph.